Hi and welcome to the Law App. This is a brief video on how to enter a journal receipt or a debtor receipt into the Law App system. First, I just go into General and I choose Receipts. I can check if my receipt has recently been completed to make sure I'm not duplicating, and if I'm not, I can press the Add button. I'm given the option of a journal receipt or a debtor receipt. I'll choose debtor receipt, and this will be a payment of invoice. If I've already used that description before and I've added it to my receipt category as an autofill, then as soon as I start to type something familiar, the system will try to suggest it to me. I don't need to use any suggestions. I can just free type the description if I choose. If I do choose an autocomplete but would like to also insert the invoice number after, I can do that as well. Paid by customer is Goran. He has paid those funds by the electronic funds transfer, but you can choose other options. The reference is purely just the description from the bank if you choose to copy and paste it. It's not compulsory. The issue date is either today's date or the date the money came in. The process date will always just be today's date. When you're ready, press Save. You can press Add to add a new line, and then go to Debtor, that's the type, Invoice, choose the Goran file. If you know the file number, you can just simply type it in. Payment of invoice. The GL account is receivables. That is correct. Do not change it. It is the control account for debtors. Don't worry about what the GST says until we're finished this process. So when I press $3,000 and I say Save, it gets a chance to look back at the file and see if there's any invoices outstanding on that file. You're then presented with an Allocate button. Press the Allocate button and you can choose what you're paying. So what I have in here, I've set up a nice little combination so that you can see how you can manage this. The client has paid the second bill, debtor invoice 77. However, this is showing a partial allocation to the invoice prior and then the balance of the allocation to the invoice after. It always tries to allocate to the oldest first. If for any reason, like in this instance, you've been specifically instructed that the statement says that he's paying invoice number 77, then you can move to select only, choose which item you want to pay, and now we're only allocating the $3,000, and then I can press Save. I've now allocated to the correct invoice, leaving the other money outstanding. When I'm ready, I can finalize it or authorize and press Print. I'm given options of different print layouts. It's made out automatically by myself as I'm the person logged in. You can press Print, PDF, or Save to File. If you wish to email, drop down on the email button. OFT or Outlook is a recommended option where it will say the receipt. If I click on that, it will download automatically a receipt attached to an email to the client. The correct referencing to save this back to the file is already included, and it gives me a nice little prompt about the matter without me having to type it. You can edit this at this point if you choose. The other options are yours to discover in those email areas. So now that I'm ready, I can press Send, and that email will go to the client. If I do an autosave, because it has the referencing already attached to it, that email with the receipt attached will save back to the file. But if you would like the receipt itself saved to the file, you can hit the Save File button and it will add it to the file under the Documents area. Now to do a receipt for a file. We go to File, we choose the Goran file again. I'll add some more money. Here he is in the middle here. We choose the Financials button on the file. Usually if you are looking for a file, you do have that option in this moment to do a bit of discovery. I can go in here and see debtors and make sure that I have some money outstanding. At this point, the client's already paid money to you. So the client is paying the $463. I've received that into the bank. He's settling his account. I go into receipt and I press add. I'm given this type of receipt layout. It is intended to be less detail for an everyday user, so a user that isn't a bookkeeper. So it tries to fill in all the detail for them. You can change any of these descriptions if you like. So the description here is child custody, but you may wish to a payment of invoice. It's paid from Goran himself. Now you can add a line. 2024-0009. It's debtor receipt. And the amount is $463. Same proposition as before. I'm going to press save. And I can come back into that receipt and check it. And press the allocate button. And save. That's how you do a receipt on the file. And how you do a receipt from the receipts area. We would recommend doing receipts from the receipts area. Thanks for joining us at Law Support Australia and on the Law App System.